We're with Anna Herold from the SPU volleyball team. Anna, the team finally gets to stay home for a while. Talk about that a little bit after playing so much on the road.
Yeah, there's nothing like playing at home. We enjoy playing on road trips. You know, a couple of the teams, the schools we've played at have great crowds. You know, NNU always has a good loud crowd. Central does. Anchorage, that was just insane, you know. So it's always fun to play in front of crowds like that, but there's nothing like playing at home, you know, on your home court in front of your friends and family. So we're really excited to get back home and, you know, try to preserve our winning record in this gym.
This week we have Simon Fraser and Western Washington come in. Western's always a tough one. Talk about playing the Vikings a little bit.
Yeah, we can't wait to play them. You know, that it's right now it seems like the top three teams of GNAC are, you know, us, Anchorage, and Western, and we haven't got a piece of Western yet, and so we can't wait to. They have a very strong team. They always do. We can't wait. We can't wait to get after them and see what they bring and see what we can bring on the court that same night.
A team like Western, you know, SPU's talented, Western's talented. They both have experience. They're both well coached. What's the secret against a team like that to get the upper edge?
I mean, they're like you said, they're both well coached. You know, Western has a long-standing, strong program. SPU is on its way up. I think definitely being, you know, around the Seattle area, those two schools are definitely known very well for like the club, you know, the clubs around, and getting to be known well by being better out of state too. But yeah, just a good coach, which both teams have, and you know, the players that really play hard for their program that, you know, most often the coach brings out of them.
You're a senior now. What do you remember about your very first match against Western? Were you aware of the rivalry and how big it actually was when you first got to SPU?
When we got here, definitely, I definitely, you know, noticed the rivalry between SPU and Western. It was the year after, you know, Seattle U had just left the conference, so it used to be kind of crosstown rivalries with Seattle U, and it was pretty apparent pretty quickly that Western was the new, you know, #1 rival, and the upperclassmen definitely helped me, you know, kind of realize that first off, you know, being the freshman out on the court, that first year of mine, but also having grown up in the area, and, you know, the greater Seattle, just north of Seattle, I knew of both Western and Seattle, and especially Western being a powerhouse, you know, just traditionally, and so we knew that, you know, they kind of had a target on their back because of that. So just having grown up in the area, I already knew that they were going to be a big rival. But I even remember my freshman year, I even had a sweatshirt because my older sister had gone to Western, and I had actually visited there too, so I had a sweatshirt that, you know, said Western on it, and we actually took it that year, and we, like, cut Falcon Claws into it, and crossed out Western, wrote Beat Western. So that made it pretty apparent that they were one of our biggest rivals.
Last week things didn't go so well in Anchorage. You bounced right back in Fairbanks. This team has shown a tendency to, if they lose one, they come right back and win the next one. Talk about the resiliency a little bit of this team.
You know, it's definitely always comforting to know that you have the ability to bounce back, that, you know, whether it's a whole match, you know, you lose at Anchorage, you win the next game, or whether it's, you know, dropping a game and coming back and winning, you know, the next game. It's definitely nice to know that you have that ability, you know, as a team, but we're really working on, you know, getting away from that and actually moving into a little more consistent play, you know, so we're not having to bounce back more often. But that's something we're really working on in practice right now, is just, you know, being more stable and, you know, not having to deal with the up and downs, but it's definitely still really nice to know that we have that ability, you know, in our back pockets.